Morning, everyone. Hope you are well. This morning's learning is dedicated in memory of Ami Bas Aryeh, Shaul ben Shlomo, Paul Kazmer, Yom Yochia ben Moshe Eliezer, Shlomo Yechia ben Moshe Eliezer, Ben Sion ben Yitzchak, Ari ben Shimon, Leah Bas Faiva, Avram Mordechai ben Moshe Katner, Menashe ben Tzvi Zalman, Ralia Bas Avram Pinkus. Wish everyone long life. So, we are in the midst, just beginning, I think, summer holidays. Kids are off. Let me share with you a little idea. Hope everyone's well. Good morning, Peter, Carol, Clarice, Michael, who we saw this morning, Rachel, Martin, Peter, Carol. I think we've done everyone at least once, if not twice, and Estelle. Good morning, everyone. So this week's Torah portion is one of the most important and famous in the book of Devarim, Deuteronomy. It's the Vaetchanan. Vaetchanan discusses, of course, about the Ten Commandments. We relive the divine revelation at Sinai, but also one of the highlights has to be the end of the parsha when we hear the first paragraph of the Shema. First paragraph, which speaks about the oneness, the unity of God, and the love of God that we are meant to embrace and to be manifest in all our actions every single day. And if you look at the Torah, it looks as if there is a printing mistake, well, not printing mistake, but I guess the sofa made a mistake in that you look at the first line of the Shema, one that we are all familiar with, and I think it's even in some Sidurim they have this. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Listen, O Israel, listen, O Israel, Hashem is our God, right? And Hashem is one. And if you look at that in Hebrew, you'll notice that there are the letter ayin at the end of the first word, Shema, is enlarged, right? So the shin mem ayin, the letter ayin, the last letter of the word Shema is enlarged in the Sefer Torah. And then if you have a look at the very last word, echad, meaning God is one, that the last letter is a daled, and that's also enlarged. And the question is why? Why would we have an ayin at the beginning and a daled at the end? Why would those two letters be enlarged? And the answer, of course, is that when you put those two letters together, you get the word aid, right? Aid, which means in Hebrew witness. So therefore the idea is that we are meant to bear witness to God's oneness, to God's unity in the world. How do we do that? How can we be witnesses to God's oneness? Well, the whole idea is that this world, in fact, was originally unified. We know that at the beginning there was only oneness, there was only God, and then in God's kindness, of course, he split the higher world, the lower world, and we know that at the time of the destruction of the temple, which we just mourned over on Tisha B'Av, so we know that the waters, the lower waters in this world, in other words, the waters of the rivers and the waters of the ponds and the lakes, they cried out to God. Why did they cry out? Because the idea was originally that the waters that were placed in this world were upset. They wanted to be close to God, says the Medrash. And God says to them, don't you worry, because your purpose, those lower waters, is that you are going to be elevated through the sacrifices. You are going to be elevated, lower waters, so that you will be unified and elevated once again to come close to me. And that was the consolation. And then what happened, of course, was the temple was destroyed, and then the lower waters lost their ability to be unified with God. So I think that very much reflects what we are trying to do in this world, and that is we are God's ambassadors. We don't go around calling out giving out his calling card, his business card, but what we do is that we live a life or live lives in which we are able to demonstrate the oneness of God, the fact that if we are the nation, if we are God's children, and we, through our conduct, through our actions that are beyond reproach, are able to demonstrate and to illustrate the what it means to be godly, then there is more acknowledgement in the world, a greater realization, friends, that God is one. That is what we are trying to do, and therefore, in a way, we are the unifiers. We are the glue that is hopefully trying to bring these two worlds back together again, and therefore we are that witness aid, right? We are the witness of the statement of Shema Yisrael. And what we are trying to do, how do we become witnesses? By highlighting, spotlighting, right? Spotlighting the oneness of God in the world, that God is everywhere, right? The only time that you think that there is not, that God is not one, is when you attribute power and significance to other things. It could be wealth, it could be honor, it could be all types of things, idols. There are all types of things that people in this world spend and expend great amounts of time and money and resources on, and they falsely, mistakenly place their trust and their faith and their power to these things or to these values. But when we are able to demonstrate throughout our lives the oneness of God, right, then that means God becomes more one, more recognized in this world. That's what we say in Aleinu, don't we? V'ne'emar v'yeh Hashem lemelech hakol haaretz v'yom hu yihyeh Hashem echad u'shmo echad. We say that on that day God will be one. V'yom hu yihyeh Hashem echad u'shmo echad. God will be one and His name will be one. What do you mean His name will be one? You ever wondered? At the end of the day, God is one. Yes, now, yesterday, and tomorrow, past, present, and future. God was one and always will be one, right? So what does it mean? On that day, God will be one. Andy, so special to have you join us this morning, and we wish you a speedy and a full recovery of Fuhr Shalema, and so amazing, incredible for you to join us. Appreciate it, mate. Look after yourself. Sorry about that little intermission. Anyways, we mean that we are stating that God we know is one right here and now. There's nothing else, right? Everything, every ism, communism, Buddhism, whatever everyone's attributed power to, right, has we know has crumbled and fallen apart. But the point is, God is not acknowledged throughout the whole world as being one, and that means His name is not one. His name is one when everyone walking around recognizes they have the shared values, right? And that's what we want. We're not trying to make people, we're not trying to proselytize people and say you've got to be Jewish. Quite the opposite. We are trying to encourage through our personal conduct that everyone should wake up in the morning and say, I want to act in a godly way. I want to be moral. I want to be ethical. I want to be good. I want to be considerate. I want to be kind. I want to follow the 7 Noahide laws. I want to bring goodness and unity to this world. Okay, that is what we are trying to do, and in that way, we are witnesses. We bear witness to what we see in God's presence in this world. It's an incredible idea. I tell the story often. And I don't mind telling it again because it was a rabbi who came to see us. Should I tell the story and say the name of the rabbi? He said it himself in his own name from the pulpit, so I think I can. So Rabbi Ivan Lerner, amazing rabbi. He's, I think, an industrial psychologist, I think. I'm not sure what that is, but that's what he is. Anyways, he came and told the story about that he had a car, and in America, you know, everyone has a number plate, a personalized number plate, I think you call it. Anyone here have a personalized number plate besides Richard? I don't, okay? And as you'll hear in the story, I'm not so keen to. But he had a personalized number plate. And I think it had something like rabbi or something like that, right? A very American rabbi on his number plate. Or right? I've seen, you can see around Golders Green, Moshiach, I've seen the number plate Moshiach. Mitzvah, I've seen 613 Mitzvah, a good number plate. What other ones have we seen? I don't know, I've seen people's names. I don't know what you've seen with number plates. They were the England number plates. Everyone's taken them down now, haven't they, and put them away. Anyways, so we digress. So he was driving around, and he had this number plate. And anyways, he was late, and he kept getting tickets by the police. The cops pulled him over and gave him a ticket. And he was embarrassed because at the end of the day, he had this number plate which clearly identified him as a Jew, right, and as a rabbi, and he felt that it was he wasn't worthy of driving around with this number plate anymore. So he said to his wife, he was going to change his number plate. And the wife said, "Why would you do that? You love that number plate. You've always had that number plate. Everyone identifies you by that number plate." He says, "Exactly." And then he spilled the beans, as husbands are wont to do when they have to. And he told her, I've been sometimes occasionally getting tickets for when I've been running late, getting tickets from the Cups. So she said to him, rather than change the number plate, why don't you change yourself? And that, friends, is it in a nutshell. That was Rabbi Lerner's message, Rabbi Ivan Lerner's message. And that's my message to you, right? Is that by us changing ourselves rather than the number plates or the externals, then we will be able to be living, breathing, godly people. And we won't need to have it on our number plates. It'll be the way we behave, the way we conduct ourselves, the way we turn up to life. So we wish everyone well. Have a good day. We're now going to say Psalm 23. We wish everyone a refuah shlema who are unwell. Hope everyone's listening to that, those that need to hear it. So special to have Michael Korb, I think he's on, who benched Gomel this morning after a terrible ordeal when they were attacked in Mill Hill. Michael, it means so much to us for you to come to Shul and to say those words this morning. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He causes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even as I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You set a table before me in the presence of my adversaries. You anointed my head with oil, my cup overflows. May only goodness and kindness pursue me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord for the length of days. Memorial prayer. Don Elamim Zecha Es Nishmais, Ami Basario Shal Ben Shlomo, Bo Casimir, Yirmiyachia Ben Moshe Eliezer, Shlomachia Ben Moshe Eliezer, Ben Zio Ben Yitzchak, Ari Ben Shimon, Bas Five, from Mordechai Ben Moshe Katlam, Ben Ben Zvi Zalman, Shalia Bas Avram Pinchas, Shalchuli Lamam, Manavarachavim, Das Libisetik, and Apechali Lamim, Mitzrachim, Mishmasam, Yanucha Mishkavasam Beshalom, and Amar Amen. Wish everyone well. Refuah Shlema prayer. Andy will have you in mind, along with all those other people in our community and beyond that need a refuah shlema. Misha Berach Avasain Rabin Yitzchav Yaakov Moshe Aaron David Shlomo Yivarech Rabbeis HaChaylim Babo Shana Mispalim Babo Ram Yischaser HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimali Rachim Aleim Lachem Alefosam Yishlach Lem Refuah Shlema Nishmam L'Cholavim B'Sor Shach Yisrael V'Es Nefesh V'Sagub Hashtag V'Zman Karib B'Nama Amen. Refuah Shlema to everyone, in particular to Avram Ben Fega Sarah, who knows who he is. Okay, anyways, everyone, we wish you all a great day, a beautiful day, 24 degrees, sun, not a cloud in the sky. Can't complain today. It's not too hot, is it? It's not too cold. Don't have to worry. Go out. And even if you're feeling nervous, you don't need to go into any shops. Just go out, get some sunshine. I want to see your happy brown faces I won't see all your faces. I'll see partial faces. The Shabbat, we've got an off-roof. David Walensky, and Mazel Tov to Miriam, Danny, and all the family on the off-roof of their son. Wedding next week, please God, I'll be there. Of course, I'll be there sending our recording to you from Leeds, Harrogate, and then we've got Charlie Goldfarb's Bar Mitzvah. So 2 services, double celebrations, 2 sermons. Looking forward. In the meantime, everyone, keep safe, keep well, look after yourselves. What do you think about Ben and Jerry's, huh? What do you think about the story of Ben and Jerry's? Please let us know tomorrow. What's your thoughts? Should the kosher? Here was a question that was asked. Should all the kosher labels in the world take the hechsher of Ben and Jerry's? They will not sell. They will not recognize the West Bank, part of Israel. It's become a huge fury about it, controversy, and I'm just wondering about your thoughts. Should we be boycotting Ben and Jerry's? That's a big one, isn't it? Everyone likes a bit of Ben and Jerry's. Anyways, have a great day, and we'll see you later.